Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when you must ask yourself a critical question: who am I and what is my worth? Because when you understand your worth, you stop giving discounts to people who have no intention of paying the price of your value. Every single one of us has been given something priceless: our time, energy, and purpose. But let me tell you this: if you don't know your purpose, someone will give you theirs. And more often than not, their purpose is to use you for their gain while you remain empty, broken, and unfulfilled. Or if you don't know who you are, the world will define you on its own terms. You must decide today that your life will not be a playground for people who only come to take, drain, and exploit. When you don't set boundaries, you send a message that you're available for anything, and anything will come. But hear this truth: you are not created to be a doormat. You are not a convenience for others to lean on while they pursue their dreams, leaving you to clean up the mess. You are valuable. You are significant. And you have a purpose that no one else can fulfill but you. How many of us struggle with saying no? We fear rejection, criticism, or being labeled as selfish. But let me tell you something: every time you say yes to someone else's demands at the expense of your own purpose, you are saying no to yourself. Because your no is powerful because it protects your time, your energy, and your future. Don't let people guilt you into doing what serves them but robs you. Saying no doesn't mean you're selfish. It means you're wise enough to protect the life you're building. Helping someone means empowering them to stand on their own 2 feet. Enabling, on the other hand, means allowing them to lean on you while they refuse to grow. Some people don't want your help. They want your life. Listen to me, your job is not to carry people who refuse to walk. You can give a hand, but don't let them climb onto your back. If you keep carrying people, you'll run out of strength to carry yourself. And when you fall, they won't catch you. They'll simply move on to someone else. Your purpose is sacred. It's not a commodity for others to trade. It's the reason you were born. But if you allow others to use you, they will hijack your purpose to serve theirs. And let me be clear: when you lose sight of your purpose, you lose sight of your future. The people who truly love and respect you will honor your boundaries. They will not demand more than you're able to give. But those who are only here to use you will resist the moment you set limits. Don't be afraid to let them go. Surround yourself with people who pour into you as much as you pour into them. Relationships should be reciprocal. If you're always the giver and they're always the taker, that's not a relationship, that's exploitation. Stop chasing people who don't value you. Stop bending over backward for people who wouldn't stretch a finger for you. And stop allowing others to live free in your life, taking your joy, peace, and energy without giving anything in return. You were born with power, but the moment you allow others to use you, you hand that power over. Take it back. How do you do that? By recognizing your worth, setting boundaries, and refusing to settle for anything less than respect and reciprocity. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not here to be used. You are here to fulfill a purpose greater than yourself. You are here to shine, to grow, to lead, and to live abundantly. But you can't do that if you allow others to deplete what makes you great. Today, make a decision: no more being used, no more letting others dictate your worth, no more allowing your time and energy to be wasted on people who do not value you. That you were created for greatness, not servitude to those who only takes. Stand firm, walk boldly, and remember you are worth protecting. Understanding your worth is the foundation of living a fulfilled and empowered life that goes beyond mere self-esteem or confidence. It's about recognizing the unique combination of abilities, experiences, and qualities that make you who you are. When you truly know your worth, you'll operate from a place of abundance and strength rather than fear or lack. It becomes a compass that guides your decisions, shapes your relationships, and determines the opportunities you pursue. However, many people struggle with this concept because they allow external factors to define their value. They measure their worth based on other people's opinions, societal standards, or their perceived success in comparison to others. This approach is flawed and leaves you vulnerable to being undervalued, overworked, and underappreciated. Your worth is inherent. It doesn't depend on what you do, what you have, or how others perceive you. It's rooted in the fact that you are a unique individual with a purpose and potential that no one else can replicate. That's when you fail to recognize this, you begin to accept less than you deserve. You settle for relationships that drain you, jobs that don't challenge or fulfill you, and situations that keep you stuck. Knowing your worth means breaking free from this cycle and reclaiming control over your life. It's about standing firm in the belief that you deserve respect, dignity, and the chance to thrive. This belief must come from within because external validation is fleeting. The world can be quick to applaud you in one moment and criticize you in the next. If your sense of worth is tied to such fickle factors, you'll find yourself constantly chasing approval rather than living authentically. To truly know your worth, you must first silence the noise around you, the opinions of others, the unrealistic standards set by society, and even the negative self-talk in your own mind must be filtered out. Take the time to reflect on your life and recognize the qualities, skills, and experiences that make you valuable. This isn't about arrogance or self-importance. It's about acknowledging your uniqueness, and that's an understanding how you contribute to the world. God, when you take inventory of what you bring to the table, you'll start to see yourself in a new light. You'll realize that your worth isn't something you have to prove. It's something you carry with you. Knowing your worth also means understanding that you are not defined by your mistakes or failures. Too often, people let their past dictate how they see themselves. They carry guilt, shame, or regret and allow it to overshadow their accomplishments and potential. But your worth isn't diminished by setbacks. If anything, those experiences add to your depth and resilience. Each failure is a lesson, each mistake a stepping stone, and each challenge an opportunity to grow. So when you view your journey through this lens, you'll see that your worth is not static. It evolves as you learn, grow, and adapt to life circumstances. That one of the most important aspects of knowing your worth is setting boundaries. People who don't recognize their value often struggle with this because they fear rejection or confrontation. They say yes when they mean no, overextend themselves, and tolerate behavior that disrespects them. But when you know your worth, you understand that boundaries are not about keeping people out. They're about protecting what matters most. They ensure that your time, energy, and emotional well-being are preserved for the things and people that align with your values. That setting boundaries is an act of self-respect, and it sends a clear message to others that you value yourself enough to prioritize your needs. The knowing your worth also transforms how you approach relationships. When you don't recognize your value, you may cling to people who treat you poorly or settle for relationships that don't fulfill you. You might fear being alone or believe that you don't deserve better, but when you truly know your worth, you stop seeking validation from others. You no longer need someone else to complete you because you understand that you are whole on your own. This shift empowers you to demand respect, kindness, and reciprocity in your relationships. It allows you to walk away from situations that don't serve you and wait for connections that uplift and inspire you. In addition to relationships, knowing your worth impacts your career and ambitions. People who undervalue themselves often shy away from opportunities because they doubt their abilities or fear failure. They settle for jobs that don't challenge or excite them, accepting less pay or recognition than they deserve. But when you know your worth, you approach your work with confidence and assertiveness. Advocate for yourself, pursue opportunities that align with your goals, and refuse to settle for less than you're capable of achieving. This doesn't mean you won't face challenges or setbacks, but it does mean you'll have the self-belief to push through them. Recognizing your worth also helps you cultivate a sense of gratitude. When you understand how valuable you are, you begin to appreciate the people, opportunities, and experiences that contribute to your life. So you stop taking things for granted and start seeing every moment as a chance to grow and thrive. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, creating a positive mindset that attracts more what you deserve. It's a powerful reminder that your worth isn't just about what you do or achieve, it's about who you are at your core. Another key aspect of knowing your worth is resilience. Life is full of challenges, and it's easy to feel defeated or discouraged when things don't go your way. But when you have a strong sense of self-worth, you're better equipped to handle adversity. God, you understand that setbacks are temporary and don't define you. This resilience allows you to bounce back from difficulties with renewed determination and a clearer sense of purpose. It's a reminder that no matter what happens, your worth remains intact. Finally, knowing your worth is about giving yourself permission to dream big and pursue the life you truly want. It's about believing that you deserve happiness, success, and fulfillment. Too often, people hold themselves back because they don't think they're good enough for fear failure. But when you know your worth, you recognize that you have as much right to pursue your dreams as anyone else. You stop playing small and start stepping into your full potential. This doesn't mean the journey will be easy, but it does mean you'll have the inner strength to keep going, no matter what obstacles you face. Setting boundaries is an essential act of self-care and self-respect, yet many people struggle to establish them because they fear the reactions of others or worry that setting boundaries will make them seem selfish. Child, the truth is setting boundaries isn't about pushing others away. It's about protecting your time, energy, and mental well-being. It is about creating a space where you can thrive, grow, and pursue your own goals without being weighed down by the demands and expectations of those around you. Without boundaries, you may find yourself constantly drained, overwhelmed, or resentful because you are giving more of yourself than you can afford to give. The first step to setting boundaries is recognizing that they are not only necessary but essential for your mental, emotional, and physical health. Boundaries allow you to draw a line between what is acceptable and what is not in your relationships, your work, and your personal life. That when you don't have clear boundaries, you risk allowing people to overstep, take advantage, or impose their will on you. You might find yourself saying yes to things you don't want to do or agreeing to things that are not aligned with your values simply because you fear conflict or rejection. This is where the power of boundaries comes into play. Setting them means that you are intentionally taking control of your life and your choices rather than letting others dictate your path. How many people avoid setting boundaries because they associate them with confrontation or feelings of guilt? We live in a society that often values self-sacrifice, and we are taught from an early age to put others' needs ahead of our own. And whether it's a parent, friend, partner, or colleague, we may feel compelled to meet their demands, even at the expense of our own happiness or well-being. However, this constant giving without regard for our own needs can lead to burnout, frustration, and resentment. And it's important to understand that setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness. It is a necessary step to ensure that you can continue to show up as your best self in every area of your life. The process of setting boundaries starts with identifying what matters most to you, what your values are, and where you need to draw the line. It's about knowing your limits. For instance, if you are someone who values personal time, it's important to set boundaries around your schedule. You might need to say no to social engagements or work commitments that infringe upon your downtime. If you valued your emotional well-being, you may need to set boundaries in relationships with people who consistently drain you or fail to treat you with respect. Identifying your priorities helps you determine where to draw the line and what is non-negotiable in your life. That once you've identified your values and limits, the next step is to communicate those boundaries clearly and assertively. Communication is key to ensuring that others understand what you need and expect from them. Often people avoid setting boundaries because they fear confrontation or they feel guilty for asserting themselves. However, the reality is that clear communication about your boundaries is not only respectful of your own needs, but also of the other person's. Hence, when you express your boundaries openly and calmly, you give others the opportunity to respect your needs and adjust their behavior accordingly. It's important to remember that you have the right to say no without feeling guilty, and doing so is not a reflection of your love or care for others. It is simply an expression of your own needs. That while setting boundaries is crucial for your well-being, it can sometimes be met with resistance from others. Some people may not understand your boundaries, or they may try to push against them because they are used to having you conform to their desires. This is where your commitment to maintaining your boundaries is tested. It's important to remember that you are not responsible for how others react to your boundaries, but you are responsible for enforcing them. That if someone refuses to respect your boundaries or tries to manipulate you into ignoring them, it's important to remain firm and consistent. Remember, if you give in once, you are sending the message that your boundaries are negotiable. Consistency is key to making sure your boundaries are respected over time. Sometimes people fear that by setting boundaries, they will push others away or damage relationships. In reality, setting boundaries strengthens relationships by fostering mutual respect and understanding. Healthy relationships are built on clear communication and respect for one another's needs. When you set boundaries, you are teaching others how to treat you, and you are inviting them to engage with you in a way that is authentic and healthy. It's also worth noting that some relationships may need to be reevaluated when boundaries are established. If someone continuously disregards your boundaries or disrespects you, it may be necessary to distance you from that relationship, or in extreme cases, let it go entirely. In the long run, this is not only healthier for you, but also for the other person, as it creates the space for both parties to grow and develop in a positive direction. In addition to relationships, setting boundaries also applies to your personal time and your work life. In today's fast-paced, always-on world, it can be easy to let work or other external obligations consume all of your time. But when you set boundaries around your work hours and personal time, you are giving yourself permission to take care of your mental and physical health. It's important to recognize that taking time for yourself is not an indulgence, it's a necessity. You cannot pour from an empty cup. By setting boundaries around your time, you are ensuring that you have the energy and capacity to perform at your best in every area of your life, whether it's your career, your relationships, or your personal goals. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is recognizing that not all boundaries are permanent. Boundaries may shift or change over time as your needs evolve. Because, for example, you might set a boundary in a relationship that is strict initially but becomes more flexible as trust and understanding are built. Similarly, your boundaries in a work setting might change as your responsibilities or priorities shift. The key is to be honest with yourself about your evolving needs and to communicate those changes clearly to others. Boundaries are not rigid walls, they are tools for self-care, and their purpose is to ensure that you are living a balanced and healthy life. Ultimately, setting boundaries is an act of self-love. It is a declaration that you value yourself enough to protect your peace, energy, and time. It may be difficult at first, especially if you are not accustomed to saying no or asserting your needs. But over time, you will find that setting boundaries becomes easier, and the benefits, greater peace of mind, stronger relationships, and a healthier sense of self are worth the effort. Your boundaries are a reflection of who you are, what you stand for, and what you are willing to accept in your life. When you set and maintain boundaries, you are not only protecting your well-being, but also teaching others how to respect and honor you. The more you practice setting healthy boundaries, the more you will see how they empower you to live a life that aligns with your values and your purpose. Helping others is one of the most fulfilling and meaningful things we can do as human beings. It strengthens our connections, builds trust, and allows us to make a positive impact in the lives of those we care about. However, there is a fine line between helping someone and enabling behaviors that ultimately harm them or hinder their growth. Help empowers others to overcome challenges and become more self-reliant, while enabling creates dependency and prevents them from learning valuable lessons or taking responsibility for their actions. But this distinction is crucial because while our intentions may be good, our approach can sometimes do more harm than good if we're not careful. Because when you help someone, you are providing them with the tools, support, or guidance they need to solve a problem or improve their situation. This type of assistance allows the person to take ownership of their journey and grow through the experience. On the other hand, enabling occurs when your actions shield someone from the natural consequences of their choices, allowing them to remain in a cycle of unhealthy behavior or dependency. Enabling might feel like helping in the short term because it offers immediate relief or comfort, but it ultimately prevents the person from facing the reality of their situation and taking the necessary steps to change. And one of the reasons people enable others is that it can be emotionally difficult to see someone you care about struggle or face hardship. There is often a desire to step in and fix the situation to provide immediate solutions or relief. While this instinct comes from a place of love or compassion, it can rob the other person of the opportunity to learn resilience, problem-solving skills, and independence. It's important to recognize that struggle and adversity are often necessary parts of growth. By stepping in too quickly or too often, you may inadvertently hinder the other person's development and their ability to cope with challenges in the future. Another reason enabling occurs is that it can be easier in the moment to give in to someone's demands or needs rather than face conflict or discomfort. For instance, you might lend money to a friend who repeatedly mismanages their finances because it feels simpler than having a difficult conversation about their spending habits. Or you might take on extra responsibilities at work because a colleague consistently fails to meet deadlines and you want to avoid tension in the workplace. These actions may provide temporary relief or maintain harmony in the short term. They enable the other person to continue their behavior without addressing the underlying issues. Helping without enabling requires a thoughtful and intentional approach. It starts with recognizing the difference between providing support and fostering dependency. Now, this means being honest with yourself about your motivations for helping and considering whether your actions are truly in the other person's best interest. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is to step back and allow the person to face the consequences of their actions. This doesn't mean abandoning them or withholding support entirely. It means providing assistance in a way that encourages accountability and growth. To help without enabling, it's important to set clear boundaries and expectations. Boundaries protect both you and the person you're helping by ensuring that your assistance doesn't come at the expense of your own well-being or create an unhealthy dynamic. For example, if someone consistently asks for financial help, you might agree to provide assistance one time, but make it clear that you expect them to take steps toward financial independence moving forward. This might involve encouraging them to create a budget, seek financial counseling, or find additional sources of income. By setting these boundaries, you are signaling that your support is not unconditional, but is contingent on their willingness to take responsibility for their situation. Another key aspect of helping without enabling is encouraging the other person to take an active role in solving their problem. Instead of stepping in and fixing everything for them, offer guidance or resources that empower them to take action. For instance, if a friend is struggling with a personal issue, you might listen empathetically and offer advice or suggest professional help, or resist the urge to solve the problem for them. Similarly, if a colleague is overwhelmed with work, you might help them prioritize tasks or develop a plan, but avoid taking on their responsibilities for them. This approach helps the person build confidence in their ability to handle challenges and fosters a sense of ownership over their situation. It's also important to recognize that helping someone doesn't always mean saying yes to their requests. Sometimes saying no is the most loving and supportive thing you can do. This might involve refusing to lend money to someone who has repeatedly borrowed and not repaid, or declining to cover for a friend who consistently makes poor choices. While saying no can be difficult, it sends a clear message that you care about the person's long-term well-being and are not willing to enable behavior that harms them or takes advantage of your generosity. It also creates space for the person to reflect on their actions and consider the changes they need to make. Helping without enabling also requires patience and a willingness to let go of control. When you care about someone, it's natural to want to see them succeed or avoid pain. But it's important to remember that their journey is their own. They must make their own decisions, learn from their mistakes, and take responsibility for their choices. This can be challenging, especially if you see them making decisions that you believe are unwise or harmful. However, true support means respecting their autonomy and trusting that they have the capacity to learn and grow. It's worth noting that helping without enabling doesn't mean withholding compassion or being indifferent to someone's struggles. On the contrary, it means offering support in a way that respects their dignity and empowers them to take charge of their life. This might involve being a sounding board for their ideas, offering encouragement, or providing practical assistance when it's truly needed. The key is to ensure that your help is constructive and not a crutch that allows them to avoid taking responsibility for their actions. Helping without enabling also involves self-awareness and self-care. It's important to recognize your own limits and ensure that your desire to help others doesn't come at the expense of your own well-being. If you find yourself feeling resentful, overwhelmed, or taken advantage of, it may be a sign that you need to reevaluate the way you're offering support. Remember that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and taking care of yourself is essential to being able to help others effectively. Ultimately, helping without enabling is about finding a balance between compassion and accountability. It's about offering support in a way that uplifts and empowers others while respecting their ability to take responsibility for their lives. And it requires a willingness to have honest and sometimes uncomfortable conversations, to set boundaries, and to let go of the need to control outcomes. Then while this approach may not always be easy, it is deeply rewarding because it allows you to truly make a difference in the lives of others while honoring your own values and well-being. True help is not about solving someone else's problems for them. It's about walking alongside them as they find the strength to solve them for themselves. Protecting your purpose is one of the most critical and profound responsibilities you have in life. Your purpose is the unique calling, mission, or vision that gives your life meaning and direction. It's the driving force that fuels your passions, informs your decisions, and shapes the way you interact with the world. It's deeply personal, and no two people share the exact same purpose. Because of its significance, protecting your purpose is not just about safeguarding a goal or ambition. It's about preserving the very essence of who you are and ensuring that you live a life aligned with your true self. And in a world filled with distractions, competing priorities, and external influences, protecting your purpose requires intentionality and focus. It's easy to lose sight of your purpose when you're pulled in different directions by the demands of others or the noise of society. People may try to impose their expectations on you, steering you away from what truly matters to you. Friends, family, colleagues, and even strangers may have opinions about what you should do with your life. Then, while their intentions may be good, it's important to remember that only you can define your purpose. Allowing others to dictate your path can lead to a life of unfulfillment and regret. Protecting your purpose means standing firm in the face of these external pressures and staying true to your own vision. Protecting your purpose also requires vigilance against internal challenges. Self-doubt, fear, and insecurity can be some of the biggest threats to your purpose. When you doubt your abilities or question your worth, it becomes easy to abandon your goals or settle for less than you deserve. Fear of failure or rejection can paralyze you, preventing you from taking the risks necessary to pursue your purpose. These internal battles are often more difficult to overcome than external obstacles because they come from within. To protect your purpose, you must develop a strong sense of self-belief and cultivate the resilience to push through these challenges. This means reminding yourself of your worth, celebrating your progress, and surrounding yourself with people who uplift and encourage you. Time and energy are two of the most valuable resources you have when it comes to pursuing your purpose, and protecting these resources is essential. Distractions and time-wasting activities can quickly derail your focus and pull you away from your goals. So whether it's excessive scrolling on social media, saying yes to every request, or prioritizing tasks that don't align with your purpose, it's important to recognize when your time and energy are being misused. Protecting your purpose means being intentional about how you spend your time and where you direct your energy. It means learning to say no to things that don't serve your purpose, even if they seem appealing or come with short-term benefits. Then it means prioritizing the activities, relationships, and opportunities that align with your vision and bring you closer to your goals. Another aspect of protecting your purpose is being mindful of the company you keep. The people around you can have a significant impact on your mindset, motivation, and overall progress. Negative or unsupportive individuals can drain your energy, plant seeds of doubt, and discourage you from pursuing your dreams. And on the other hand, surrounding yourself with positive, like-minded, and purpose-driven individuals can inspire you, hold you accountable, and provide the support you need to stay on track. Protecting your purpose means being selective about who you allow into your inner circle and ensuring that your relationships are built on mutual respect, encouragement, and shared values. That one of the most important ways to protect your purpose is by staying connected to it. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and lose sight of what truly matters. Regularly reflecting on your purpose and why it's important to you can help you stay grounded and focused. This might involve setting aside time each day to think about your goals, journaling about your progress, or meditating on your vision. By staying connected to your purpose, you can remind yourself of your why and reignite your passion when you feel discouraged or unmotivated. Protecting your purpose is an ongoing process, and staying connected to it ensures that it remains at the forefront of your life. Protecting your purpose also means being willing to adapt and grow. Your purpose is not static. It may evolve over time as you gain new experiences, insights, and perspectives. Clinging too tightly to a rigid idea of your purpose can limit your growth and prevent you from fully realizing your potential. It's important to remain open to change and be willing to adjust your path as needed. This doesn't mean abandon your purpose. It means allowing it to expand and deepen as you grow. Protecting your purpose involves being flexible and trusting that the journey will unfold in the way it's meant to. Another critical aspect of protecting your purpose is maintaining your integrity. Along the way, you may encounter opportunities or temptations that seem appealing but don't align with your values or purpose. Now, these distractions can be enticing, especially if they promise quick rewards or external validation. However, compromising your integrity for short-term gains can lead you away from your true path and create a sense of emptiness or dissatisfaction. Protecting your purpose means staying true to your values and making choices that align with who you are and what you stand for. It means being honest with yourself and others, even when it's difficult, and prioritizing long-term fulfillment over temporary gratification. Fear of judgment is another challenge that can threaten your purpose. Pursuing your purpose often involves stepping out of your comfort zone and taking risks that others may not understand or approve of. It's natural to want acceptance and validation from those around you, but letting the fear of judgment dictate your choice can hold you back. Protecting your purpose means being willing to take bold steps and pursue your goals, even in the face of criticism or doubt from others. It means trusting your instincts and having the courage to follow your own path, regardless of what others think. Protecting your purpose also involves celebrating your successes and acknowledging your progress. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of the next goal or milestone and forget to appreciate how far you've come. Taking the time to celebrate your achievements, no matter how small, can boost your confidence and motivation. It reminds you that your efforts are paying off and reinforces your commitment to your purpose. Protecting your purpose means valuing yourself and recognizing the importance of your journey. Lastly, protecting your purpose requires persistence and determination. There will be times when the journey feels challenging or overwhelming, and you may be tempted to give up. Obstacles, setbacks, and failures are inevitable, but they are also opportunities for growth and learning. Protecting your purpose means staying committed to your vision, even when the road gets tough. It means pushing through adversity, seeking solutions, and continuing to move forward one step at a time. Either your purpose is worth fighting for, and every challenge you overcome brings you closer to realizing your potential and fulfilling your mission. Protecting your purpose is a lifelong commitment, but it is one of the most rewarding and meaningful endeavors you can undertake. Choosing reciprocal relationships is a fundamental principle that shapes the quality of your connections and the overall direction of your life. Relationships, whether personal, professional, or social, play a significant role in your growth and well-being. They influence your emotions, your decisions, and even your self-perception. A reciprocal relationship is built on mutual respect, trust, and an equal exchange of energy, effort, and support. Then it thrives on the balance of giving and receiving, where both parties invest in each other's well-being and success. When you choose reciprocal relationships, you align yourself with connections that uplift, inspire, and empower you, rather than draining or diminishing you. Reciprocal relationships are essential because they foster mutual growth and understanding. In such relationships, both individuals are committed to contributing to the connection in meaningful ways. This might include offering emotional support during difficult times, celebrating each other's achievements, or simply being present and attentive. The key is that the effort flows in both directions. So when one person gives, the other also reciprocates, creating a cycle of balance and harmony. This dynamic ensures that neither party feels taken for granted or overburdened. It cultivates an environment of trust and security where both individuals feel valued and appreciated. Choosing reciprocal relationships requires a conscious effort to evaluate the dynamics of your connections. It involves assessing whether the relationship is built on mutual respect and whether both parties are equally invested in its success. If one person consistently gives more while the other takes without reciprocating, the balance is disrupted, leading to feelings of resentment or frustration. Relationships that lack reciprocity can become toxic or one-sided, draining your energy and leaving you emotionally depleted. Recognizing these imbalances is the first step toward making healthier choices and prioritizing connections that are truly reciprocal. One of the most important aspects of reciprocal relationships is the concept of mutual benefit. These relationships are not transactional in the sense of keeping score, but rather they are characterized by a natural exchange of value. Both parties contribute their time, energy, and resources because they genuinely care about each other's well-being. This might mean offering guidance or mentorship in a professional setting, sharing advice and encouragement in a friendship, or supporting each other's dreams and aspirations in a romantic relationship. The beauty of reciprocal relationships lies in their ability to create synergy, where the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. Together, you achieve more, grow more, and experience more joy than you would alone. Reciprocal relationships also require clear communication and a willingness to address issues as they arise. Misunderstandings and conflicts are inevitable in any relationship, but in a reciprocal connection, both parties are committed to resolving them with empathy and respect. This involves active listening, expressing your feelings honestly, and being open to feedback. When both individuals are invested in maintaining the health of the relationship, they work together to overcome challenges and strengthen their bond. This level of communication builds trust and ensures that the relationship remains balanced and fulfilling for both parties. Choosing reciprocal relationships also means setting boundaries and recognizing when a connection is no longer serving you. Not every relationship will be reciprocal, and that's okay. Some people may not have the capacity to give back what you offer, whether due to their own struggles, priorities, or limitations. While it's natural to want to help or support others, it's important to recognize when the relationship has become one-sided and is negatively impacting your well-being. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect and self-care. It allows you to protect your energy and focus on connections that are mutually beneficial. Reciprocal relationships also foster a sense of accountability. When both individuals are equally invested, they hold each other accountable for their actions and decisions. This accountability creates a foundation of trust and integrity where both parties feel confident in the other's commitment to the relationship. It also encourages personal growth as you challenge each other to be your best selves and support each other in achieving your goals. This dynamic creates a partnership that is both empowering and inspiring, where both individuals feel motivated to grow and succeed. Another key element of reciprocal relationships is empathy. In these connections, both parties are attuned to each other's needs and feelings. They take the time to understand and validate each other's experiences, offering support and compassion when it's needed most. Empathy is the glue that holds reciprocal relationships together, fostering a deep sense of connection and understanding. When you choose relationships built on empathy, you create a safe space where both individuals feel seen, heard, and valued. Reciprocal relationships also encourage authenticity. When you're in a relationship where both parties are equally invested, you can be your true self without fear of judgment or rejection. These connections are built on a foundation of honesty and vulnerability, where both individuals feel comfortable expressing their thoughts, feelings, and aspirations. This level of authenticity deepens the bond and creates a sense of intimacy that is both rare and meaningful. In reciprocal relationships, you don't have to pretend to be someone you're not. You can simply be yourself and know that you are accepted and appreciated. Choosing reciprocal relationships also means being willing to let go of those that are not. It can be difficult to walk away from a connection that you've invested time and energy into, but holding on to relationships that lack reciprocity can prevent you from forming healthier, more balanced connections. And letting go is not an act of bitterness or resentment. It's an acknowledgement that the relationship is no longer serving its intended purpose. By releasing these connections, you create space for relationships that align with your values and contribute to your growth and happiness. Reciprocal relationships also thrive on mutual appreciation. In these connections, both parties take the time to express gratitude for each other's efforts and contributions. This might involve acknowledging a kind gesture, celebrating a milestone, or simply saying thank you for being there. Expressing appreciation strengthens the bond and reinforces the positive dynamic of the relationship. It reminds both individuals of the value they bring to each other's lives and fosters a sense of joy and fulfillment. Ultimately, choosing reciprocal relationships is about prioritizing connections that align with your values, goals, and well-being. It's about recognizing the importance of balance and ensuring that your relationships are built on a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and support. When you choose reciprocal relationships, you create a network of connections that uplift, inspire, and empower you, allowing you to thrive and reach your full potential. These relationships are not only beneficial for your personal growth, but also for the collective growth of everyone involved. They create a ripple effect of positivity and collaboration that extends far beyond the individuals in the relationship, impacting the world in meaningful and lasting ways.